Well, some brand new numbers in the race for the White House. A new Quinnipiac poll in the delegate-rich state of New York finding GOP frontrunner Donald Trump with the home court advantage big time. Take a look at that, 56, 20, 19%, racking up a nearly 3-to-1 lead over Senator Ted Cruz, beating him by those numbers, and also Governor John Kasich right behind Cruz. Well, things are closer on the Democratic side, though, where Hillary Clinton beats native son Senator Bernie Sanders in her adopted home state, 54 to 42%. Joining us now, Chuck Rocha, Democratic strategist and Sanders surrogate, and Kevin McCullough, a radio host at Salem Media. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
So, Chuck, sing me a little Billy Joel. Who's going to be taking it home, and are you surprised by these numbers?
They're both in a New York state of mind. I was listening to it coming over because right now it's the good news for both of them. With Donald Trump, he has to win 55% of the remaining delegates, and this would take it a long way of doing that. That's the only way he can get to the number at the convention. And with Hillary, she's behind in Wisconsin right now with the latest Marquette polling, so she needs to build a firewall in New York, build her delegate count, so even if the superdelegates switch sides, it doesn't matter. They are both loving the Big Apple this morning.
Yeah, Kevin, 247 delegates for the Democrats, 95 for the Republicans. That is the fourth most in the nation. How significant would it be if Trump takes New York?
Let me just say, don't pay a lot of attention to the QPAC poll for New York for the Republicans just yet, because these races have tended to go in about a 2-week cycle. When the one before them is finished, which Wisconsin's going to be done on Tuesday, then all the campaigns move to the states, and you're seeing a lot of movement. And just look at what happened in Wisconsin and say, could something similar happen in New York? Probably not. Trump has about 100% name recognition in New York. This should be turf that he defends pretty easily, and he's going to have to, because the Los Angeles Times has Cruz now tied with him in California, and Trump cannot lose California and New York and go to the convention and get first ballot. It won't happen.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what you were just referencing, the latest poll to come out of Wisconsin, because before they get to New York on April 19th, they have to go through Wisconsin first, and this is a significant difference. The last one that we saw here, the Marquette poll, it was reversed. But now you see Cruz leading Trump by 10%, and then look, Kasich's right there as well. They're all in the race. So what do you think will happen, Chuck?
So I think it's interesting that these Wisconsin polls, all of these polls came out before you saw the latest brush up with Trump's, with his campaign manager, and the latest after the town hall last night where they had all this flap and everybody wanted to be talking about positions on abortions. It'll be interesting, like Kevin said, as you get into this last little bit, people are making a lot of jockeying back and forth, and when the candidates start showing up there, then it starts moving numbers more erratically for guys who do this on a regular basis. They know that that's going to happen. So coming out of Wisconsin, whoever's got the momentum heading into New York is going to be a very big deal.
And Kevin, what do you think? I also want to bring up the numbers before you comment on the Democratic side in Wisconsin, where Sanders is leading, although slightly, over Clinton, 49 to 45%.
Oh, I think Sanders has a great Michigan moment in the making all over again in Wisconsin. He does really well in these states, and Hillary needs to battle for it a little bit more. I mean, I'm not surprised when you look at how energized Bernie Sanders has taken the young people's vote. You got a lot of colleges in Wisconsin. You got a lot of college campuses there. This is a very volatile place in terms of getting the message out, and Sanders is taking advantage of that. And I just want to piggyback on what Chuck said. That Marquette poll, that's a 21-point swing in about 30 days' time.
Yeah, have you seen something like that before? I mean, it is completely opposite of what it was.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's why the QPAC poll in New York doesn't really matter just yet, because Trump has 100% name recognition and he has the highest negatives in the field. There's a lot of room yet to go on all the campaigns that are left.
Yeah, what about the issues? I mean, can the candidates zero in on the issues before Tuesday for Wisconsin? I had our brain room pull some of the statistics. The unemployment rate in Wisconsin, 4.6%. So can they talk about, you know, employment and that a little bit more? Also, women, which you brought up, Chuck, in the 2012 electorate were won by President Obama by 51%. So that's a huge demographic in Wisconsin that Trump will have to deal with.
In Wisconsin, it's tailor-made on the Democratic side for for my guy, for Senator Sanders, because it's an open primary. On the Republican side, you have went through a lot of Scott Walker recalls. Republicans have beat back Democrats at almost every turn there, and they are a well-organized and well-educated group of people. That's why I think that Cruz is doing so well. I think they're very tuned in, and I think you're going to see this thing continue to move because of all the stuff that's already went on in Wisconsin throughout the last couple of years.
You mentioned the 4% unemployment. That's Scott Walker's success right there. He's below the national average, and that's going to pay homage to Cruz. Chuck mentioned that these polls were taken before the meltdown with all the women issues of Trump. It also came out before Scott Walker landed his endorsement on Cruz's doorstep. Cruz has a lot of reasons to be positive about Wisconsin.
Well, we do know one thing. They will all be working hard in Wisconsin and New York in the days to come. Thank you both for joining us. Kevin, Chuck, always nice to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.